Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Anwar. We'll come back with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Hashem, Dash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, and blessings upon the great multitude destined for salvation. Yeah, and that's saying that, that's kind of heading up the point I'm going to make in this lesson, because we have the elect, obviously, that come first and foremost in the eyes of the Lord, and then we have the great multitude, which is those that He's had mercy on, man. But He's told us in the scriptures, man, that the majority of our people can't be saved, man. Alright? They are foolish, they don't want to know, they just want to carry on living in this world, they want to live under the banner of Esau Edom, they want to live their ways. They don't want to follow the law, statutes, and the commandments, man. So we ain't trying to teach them, man, because that's not what this is about. This is about the elect. This is about sealing the elect. It ain't about, you see some camps out there, they want to drag people in, that are just going about their day-to-day business and call them in and try and tell them they shouldn't be dealing with the Edomite women and they should be doing this, they should be... Listen, man. The scripture says the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit. Listen, and what Yahushua said, he said, my sheep hear my voice, man. Listen, meaning they will hear the word, they'll hear the Spirit. They're not going to you can't just force someone in. It's not your job to try and force someone into believing this. If the Spirit takes them, a man can come and believe something and he can still walk down the street, man. A man can tell you, yeah, I believe that's true, but he doesn't mean he's going to be committed to it. He can still walk down the street. It's not about us trying to control the narrative like that and trying to control who's going to come into the fold, man. That's down to the Lord, man. All we do is say the words that He's told us, commanded us to speak. Right? So all this trying to call out to Jake, you see the upper camps still doing it on that shit, man. It's ridiculous. It goes to show that they're not about the Lord's work, man. They're not about their Father's work. They're about their own work. They want to do things their way. That's why IUIC, I want to call them out, because that's why they're at the time they're not even on the streets, man. So how are you calling out to the elect if you're not even on the streets? Then you're holding churches, basically, so you're just teaching the people that already know. What about the people that don't know that you could be missing? Alright? That's why the Spirit is taking GMS a lot of places now where they're not even on the main places of concourse, man. We're in certain places where there's not even a lot of Jake sometimes, or people that look like Jake, So we're out there just speaking the words that we've been taught to speak, that we've been chosen to speak, man. And if we call out to the elect, that's the job. Then we're doing our part. Let's read this. This is Ezekiel 12:1. It says, the word of the Lord also came unto me, saying, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house. Yeah, I remember when we was in places in South London. We're going to say their names in that, but if you know, you know. We were surrounded by rebellious people, man. The rebellious Israelites, man. They hated us, man. They hated what we were saying. And I believe part of it was shame. They couldn't believe we was out there dressed like we were, saying the things we were saying. Why? Because we were going against the narrative. We were going against their master, Esau Edom, man, and they felt embarrassed for that. Because they just want to get along. Let's get back in it. It says, which have eyes to see and see not. Let me start again. Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house. Therefore, thou son of man, prepare these stuff for removing, and remove by day in their sight. And thou shalt not remove from thy place to another place in their sight. It may be they will consider that they be a rebellious house. Yeah, man, they don't consider them. That's the thing. That's why we're not out here trying to save everyone, man. I don't know who told these guys that's their job, but it's not our job to save everyone. Right, it says, Then shalt thou bring forth thy stuff by day in their sight, meaning that, you got, the highways and the byways, man, as stuff for removing, and thou shalt go forth even in their sight, as they that go forth into captivity. Look, these people ain't fit for the word, man. Alright? They're not fit for the word, man. All they're fit for is missiles. Let's just keep it, let's just, be blatant about it now. They're fit for distraction, man. That's all they are. They're missile food, man. The Lord is going to just destroy them. They have to be taken out of the way. And even Jakes in the world talk about sellouts and people that are dragging our people back, knowing they know the deal. They have to be taken out of the way. But we're talking spiritually, man. Like, these people are spiritually blind. Where am I? I'm in the wrong stacker. I went Jeremiah 5 and 21, not 21. Jake is ignorant, man. Look at the stuff they're doing now, man. The music's getting disgusting. It's getting worse and worse. There was a time when we were praised for our music. Now we're just disgraced for it, man. This is Jeremiah 5:20. It says, declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear ye not me? No, they don't. They don't fear the Lord, man. They will, but right now they don't fear the Lord, man. They fear Esau Edom more than they fear the Lord. Saith the Lord, will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet they cannot prevail. Though they roar, yet they cannot pass over it. Showing them, the Lord is talking about his power, man. But this people have a revolting and rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Gone, man. Yeah. They're revolted against the Most High, man. Now they're talking about being atheists and shit. That's crazy talk. Jake's not believing in the Most High. Who would have thought that? But here we are in 2026. Now, and that's another thing, because I spoke about this, I believe, in the last lesson. I did talk about, atheists in Edomites and that, not being accountable for their actions. It's the same with Jake, man. They don't want to believe it, and they use the excuse of, it's the white man's religion, blah blah blah. Listen, man, if you understood the history, you would have known that these teachings were being taught way before people were brought to the Western world, man, and to the Americas and that. You know that, but you don't want to know that, because then that will ruin your whole lie. Your whole agenda of not getting involved in fearing the Lord and following the Lord's statute commandments, that will fall apart. Oh, we can't believe in that. Let's just worship the ancestors. That's all about praying to the ancestors and shit. What the hell is that about? It says, neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our power, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter. In his season he reserved unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. Yeah, that's the curses, man. That's Deuteronomy 28 from the 15th onwards, man. That's the curses. Because we effed around and found out, the Lord said, no, man. Like now your iniquities have turned away. You're not having these things because you're too much in your iniquity. And the word iniquity means sin upon sin, man. Like a multitude of sins, man. It says, for among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. I don't want to go too deep onto that, man, but let me get something else. This is Isaiah 6 and 8. Isaiah's commission says, also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. See ye indeed, but perceive not. Remember, Yahushua spoke to the disciples in parables, man. Why? Because he didn't want them other demons knowing the truth, because it weren't for them, man. The same way that we don't just tell anyone and everybody anything that comes up to the camp, man. You know, you can't just show up to the camp and just join it. You know, there's ways we do things. You know, sometimes we even withhold the name, man, because people ain't ready for the name. That name is, them names are sacred, man. All right, they are sacred, and it's for those that believe. So okay, let me just do that. So yeah, man, let's read on. It says, make this, verse 10 says, make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. I mean, that's what we hope for, because if that happens, then that's the elect we're talking about, you know. But as I've already stated at the beginning of this lesson, that the majority of our people are not gonna get it, man. This is Matthew 10 and 5. It says, these 12, and the names the 12. I'll read them. I'll read it out of respect for the disciples, man. Matthew 10 and 1, it says, and when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So they was walking around with spiritual powers, man. You know, because they were at the forefront trying to show people the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, not in a boastful way, but in a way to build faith in people, man, to show them that who is the true power. It says, now the names of the 12 apostles are these: the first, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. Now it says the Canaanite only because he dwelt in Canaan. He wasn't a Canaanite like that, man. He was an Israelite. Verse 5, it says, these 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? So, you know, first and foremost, this truth is for Israel only, right? And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. Right, so that he gave them, he permitted them spiritual powers, man, to move, to maneuver. But you know, although he said to go and speak to the lost sheep, man, there's you know, he also he also stipulated that those sheep will hear his voice. So it's not a case of you trying to figure out who they are. The spirit will guide them. Right? And as I said before, the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the living power, man. So all them guys out there that want to dismiss men because they sound like Hamites, or they believe them to be Hamites, you're dumb. You're going off, man. You could have cast away a number of the elect, man. Foolish. And I'm not going to mention any names, but these are men that have been in the truth 3-4 times the length of time I've been in this truth, and they're maneuvering like that, man. It's crazy. This is Matthew 15 and 22, and it says, and behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. Right, you see that? So let's cancel this. I saw someone trying to argue with someone about the what is it called again? You know, what's it called again? So like, because we don't use the term, it's hard to remember it sometimes. But you know, basically Mary giving birth to Yahushua without having a natural a man to impregnate her. You know, I can't remember the term, but you know what I mean. So this is, that in itself proves that he's of the lineage. It's lineage, man. Seed line, right? Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Immaculate conception, that's the word. That's the term. It says, but he answered her not a word, and his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? So the lost sheep, you know, are the elect, men. And that's it. Let's get that out. Start here. John 10 and 11 says, I am, this is Yahushua, as it says in the red, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep, which he did. But he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. Because he doesn't care. He hasn't got the same responsibility and care for them, because they're not his. Right? The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. Yeah, meaning that the elect will know, man. Remember, the prophets of old are back. As the Father knoweth me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep, which he did. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Therefore doth my Father love me, because I laid down my life, that I might take it again. Kind of sidetracked there. No man man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. Let's jump down. It says, then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, or the Hamashiach, tell us plainly. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believed not. The works that I do in my Father's name bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. Right, so this is a good point, because we believe because we are of the flock, man. We have to believe that, right? We believe it. The rest of them don't, and that's going to be to their detriment, man. He says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. These demons, man. Yeah, that's why it says in Revelation 7, 1-7, man. He's coming back, man. All them people, he's going to get dealt with, man. Wickedly. So yeah, the point I'm trying to say is that we ain't out here trying to, Yahushua didn't command us to go and try and teach everybody, man. That's why he told them. That's why things are in parables, because it's not for everyone to even get anyway, man. How about that? It's not for everybody. Although the Christians want to teach that, everyone can be saved, blah blah blah, man. Listen, man. That narrative is finished. We've laid that one to rest, man. That's over with, man. That old narrative is done. Anyway, listen, that's it. I'm gonna call it on that. The mission is to teach, and that's it. And whoever is gonna hear it will hear it, man. Alright, we do this until the elect is sealed. It's just about sealing the elect, man. It's not about trying to be proud and trying to show that you've got so much knowledge that you can change a man's heart. That's what there's pride with these guys that try and move like that, man. Listen, man, remember, prime example, John the Baptist, man. He was in the wilderness, man. Who was out there? He was preaching in the wilderness, man. People ain't just dwelling out there like that. Anyway, man, that's all I got on that, man. So, Lord is edifying. And I'll say, Khan Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakak with Dash. Shalom to the next one, man. Shalom.